organization in Zambia, connecting you to the newsmakers and events that make news in the global village.
Good evening. This is the 5FM Radio Main News. The headlines. President Hakainde Hichilema appeals to the Convention on Wetlands to support Zambia in restoring wetlands. Zambia launches 2025 Energy Week exhibitions with board reforms and renewed drive. Now ceasefire deadline looms. This bulletin is live on our Facebook page, 5FM Radio Zambia, and our YouTube channel, 5FM Radio Zambia. With the details, my name is Lance Sannie. President Hakainde Hichilema has appealed to the Convention on Wetlands to support Zambia in restoring wetlands activities, thereby affecting the ecosystem. The president made the appeal during a meeting with the Secretary General of the Convention on Wetlands, Dr. Msonda Mumba, at State House. President Hichilema cited the Lukanga swamps as an example of wetlands under threat. The head of state emphasized that restoring nature is critical for the well-being of future generations.
Disturb nature, yet necessary investment, but also the climate change. The organization to work with us as you would with other countries to help us manage this aspect so that we can leave these assets to the generations coming after us so we can utilize them in a sustainable way, pass them to those to come after us. I think it's a responsibility any decent generation has, and a leadership like ourselves. So we'd like to work with you.
Earlier today, President Hichilema noted that Zambia shares common practices with Egypt in the area of hosting refugees. The head of state made the remarks during a meeting with the Arab contractor delegations at State House.
The people of Egypt also accommodating a number of refugees from the region. This country too has been a host to a lot of refugees. Since our independence, we've been involved in ensuring that there's peace, stability, security, and hosted the liberation movements in South Africa, Zimbabwe, and a number of others. So I think those are common threads that we share between the two countries. Countries understand, and this was underscored by our meeting with President El-Sisi, when we had both a private meeting we had and a public meeting with our officials, that without peace, security, stability, to be difficult to drive the development agenda.
Western Province Minister Kapelo Mbangweta has officially launched the 2025 Energy Week exhibitions at Barut Semo in Mongu on behalf of the Minister of Energy, Makoso Chikote. Delivering the keynote address, Mr. Mbangweta underscored Zambia's unwavering commitment to building a sustainable, inclusive, and resilient energy future. Held under the theme Advancing Towards a Sustainable Energy Future, the exhibitions aim to highlight innovations in energy technologies, promote clean alternatives, and showcase government and private sector efforts to improve access to modern energy services. He reaffirmed the government's decisive response to the 2023-2024 drought, which led to low water levels and widespread load shedding. In response, the Ministry of Energy has accelerated reforms and investments to strengthen energy diversification and resilience. A key highlight is the rollout of net metering, which allows households and businesses to install solar systems and feed surplus electricity into the national grid in return for financial credit. Zesco Limited is currently implementing a promotional campaign to install 1,000 net metering systems free of charge. The Western Province Administration is championing solar energy as part of its commitment to climate smart development rather. Several projects are underway to power health facilities, schools, and rural communities, enhancing service delivery and improving quality of life in off-grid areas,
such as liquefied petrol gas and improved biomass stocks, which are critical to reducing deforestation, improving environmental and human health, especially for women and children. I encourage members of the public, especially here in Mongo, to visit the various stands, engage with exhibitors, and learn how you can integrate alternative energy technologies into your homes, farms, and business. To the private sector players present here today, your continued innovation.
Former Kasinengwa constituency member of parliament Sensho Banda has expressed shock over the recent decision by the United States government to withdraw its personnel from Kitwe, Chambishi, and surrounding areas due to the hazardous mine tailing spill from Sino Metals mine. Mr. Banda stated that while the move prompted by legitimate health concerns ranging from arsenic and uranium contamination to airborne toxic exposure was justified, it raises serious questions about the Zambian government's own response and priorities. He said that while the US acted swiftly to protect its citizens, the silence from the Zambian government has been both loud and painful. Mr. Banda alleged that there has been no national aid, no public sensitization, and no coordinated water treatment plan, despite knowledge that the Mwambashi and Chambishi rivers, which flow into the Kafue River, are interconnected water bodies affecting communities in Kitwe, Kalulushi, and Chambishi. Luangwa Town Council Chairperson Lawrence Shaba has commended the Road Transport and Safety Agency RATSA for its outstanding customer service and commitment to improving road safety across the country. This recognition was made during the annual Agriculture and Commercial Show, which was held in Lusaka Province at the showgrounds held under the theme Adaptation to Climate Change. Luangwa Town Council's Department of Agriculture and the Department of Livestock and Fisheries participated in the 97th Agriculture and Commercial Show. Speaking during an interaction with Mr. Chanda, a RATSA official dedicated to safeguarding lives on the road, Mr. Shaba highlighted some of the key benefits of RATSA services. He noted that motorists now receive timely notifications before the expiry of critical services such as fitness tests. Mr. Shaba also commended RASA's local office in Luangwa, which has improved service accessibility for residents. During the engagement, RASA Public Relations Manager Ms. Chilufia Mwelwa reaffirmed the agency's commitment to extending and enhancing services in Luangwa district. Planned initiatives include RATSA also pledging to collaborate closely with the local authority and the communities to ensure these services are both accessible and effective. And in other news trending this evening, the Higher Education Loans and Scholarships Board has awarded student loans to 186 first-year students at Palabana University for the 2025-2026 academic year. Transparency International Zambia TIZ has expressed concern over serious irregularities in the ongoing procurement of biometric voter registration, BVR equipment and software for next year's scheduled general elections. Up next, the business news. The Zambia Revenue Authority ZRA has directed that it is mandatory for all filling stations to issue smart invoice for all business-to-business transactions. ZRA Corporate Communications Manager Oliver Nzala notes that for business to consumer or individual transactions, smart invoices are to be issued only upon request by the consumer. He says all remaining B2C sales that are not invoiced must be consolidated into a single summary invoice, which should be generated at the end of each business day or shift as applicable. Mr. Nzala says filling stations are advised to ensure strict adherence to this directive to remain compliant with smart invoicing requirements. He says the authority ZRA has also embarked on a vigorous nationwide campaign to onboard all filling stations onto the smart invoicing platform. Mr. Nzala says this initiative is aimed at ensuring that no business encounter disruptions in operations or delays in claiming input VAT, particularly for entities that depend on fuel purchases. Ends the business news. And in news from across our borders, US envoy Steve Witkoff and Russia's Vladimir Putin have met at the Kremlin as Donald Trump's deadline for Moscow to agree a ceasefire in Ukraine looms. The talks lasted 3 hours, Russian media report, after Witkoff landed in Russia early on Wednesday. The US president said Russia could face hefty sanctions or see secondary sanctions imposed against all those who trade with it if it doesn't take steps to end the horrible war with Ukraine. Volodymyr Zelensky, Ukraine's president, has warned that Russia would moves towards peace if it began to run out of money. He welcomed the threat of tougher US sanctions and tariffs on nations buying Russian oil. And in sports news, an unnamed former county cricket coach has been suspended for 9 months after admitting charges of sexual misconduct. The independent cricket discipline panel found the man had sent sexual explicit pictures to two female junior members of staff in the summers of 2023 and 2024. He admitted 5 breaches of professional conduct regulations, including sending unsolicited sexual images to 2 colleagues. The panel declined to identify the individual due to exceptional health related circumstances and serious risk of harm if his name was made public. And the evening weather report is that the evening is mainly clear, windy at times, and mild to cool. That item brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, a recap of the stories that made headlines. President Hakainde Hichilema has appealed to the Convention on Wetlands to support Zambia in restoring wetlands that have been threatened by human activities, thereby affecting the ecosystem. Western Province Minister Kapelo Ambangweta has officially launched the 2025 Energy Week exhibitions at Barut Semo in Mongu on behalf of the Minister of Energy Makoso Chikote. And finally, US envoy Steve Witkoff and Russia's Vladimir Putin have met at the Kremlin as Donald Trump's deadline for Moscow to agree a ceasefire in Ukraine looms. For more news, follow us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, 5FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, thank you for listening to the Happy World of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. My name is Lance Sannie. Enjoy the rest of the day.